Good morning.
How concerning was it that Isaiah didn't know the rule, didn't understand the rule, or what was your interpretation of that whole sequence?
Yeah, in terms of the coaching aspect, whenever a player says he doesn't understand, you kind of take it to heart as a coach. From his aspect, I view it in two different ways. I know he started it by saying he's been playing the gunner a lot in this league, and if he's talking from the gunner's perspective, he's 1,000% correct. You can push the defender into the returner without cause a penalty. Where I probably failed him and the team is I didn't differentiate when we do talk gunner work and vice work what we want, obviously. And if he has confusion on that, it falls on me as a coach of not being able to explain it correctly where he understands. From a gunner aspect, 1,000% correct. You could push a vice player into the returner. From a vice standpoint or a jammer standpoint, however you want to call it, we never want to put our own player in a disadvantage by throwing somebody into Cooper in terms of that. So, again, it falls on me to be able to articulate to him the big difference if there's any misconception on what the rules and the understandings were. So,
and now, was he in there because Cooper was in for Britain?
He started in the New Orleans game as well on the outside. Okay. And, we've got good enough personnel where we can. It was hot out there. You don't want to overuse some guys that are playing a lot on offense, defense. That's why special teams is an important phase for us. So, again, and Isaiah's been doing this for a while in this league, so it's just one of those things where just can't happen. 2 weeks in a row, it's kind of snowballed where special teams has kind of affected it in a bad way. But I think the cool thing about the NFL, you have the Keeley incident, you have the Isaiah incident, they come back and they have a huge play on that field goal block.
What happened on that Keeley incident when he just plowed into Cooper there?
It's one tough when you are the vice guy and you're just trying to block for the returner as hard as possible. And you can see 32 slipped, then Keeley blocking him goes head over heels, and he's kind of a little bit out of control, doesn't see Coop, and they run into him. And I think we've talked about it at least yesterday, and I tried to do a better job as a coach, in those situations, the communication from Coop or myself on the sideline. Again, in a stadium where you could probably yell and people hear you, a poison call, they get out the way, so we just don't run into each other at the end of the half like that. But again, for myself as a coach, I got to be able to communicate, and calm things down. Coop's first time being a punt return, you're trying to make something as calm as possible for him. But, again, I thought Coop did actually a good job of tracking the ball, kind of a different punter that they put in there. Jay Camarda was the starter. Then they brought up Trenton Gill. And, again, just the learning curve of him seeing, hang time to punt. I can't get a return here. Let me fair catch and just kind of be able to control the ball for the offense.
From Cooper's perspective, he mentioned that he has to kind of waive for the fair catch earlier. Do you agree with that? And what are the rules with that when it comes to returning a punt?
Yeah, I mean, again, it comes to if this is a rocket punt, a 60-yard punt at 4-0, you're going to have plenty of time before the Gunners get there. But, just seeing how the ball was fine, it was 32 yards, 38 yards, 37 yards at a 4-3 hang time. I don't care who you have out there. Like, it's going to be tough in those short distances to get a return. So if he sees it off the foot, all right, this thing's pretty high up in the air, and he's got to come up, it's probably a shorter distance punt with a higher hang time just to throw up the fair catch and just get everybody kind of calm and out the way so we don't have that instances. But, with Coop, he's done a great job for us in the first 4 weeks, coming back off injury in training camp, then being thrown into a core 4 special teams player, then being thrown into a punt returner. He really doesn't, he doesn't feel like it's too big of a moment for him.
The block extra point from a positive standpoint, what'd you like from that? What did Isaiah do well with Keeley?
I think it all starts, if you look 2 field goals ahead of it, Tristan McCullum jumped through that, what do you call it, the D gap in between the wing and the end. So it actually gave a little bit of an advantage to us. Okay, Tristan got through clean. That wing probably has to spend a little bit more time trying to block Tristan. And Isaiah, who's done it for a while, said, "Hey, I saw something off the holder that I can go and get one." Obviously, there was a shorter field goal. I think it was like 21 yards. So we said, "We'll hold on." Then that extra point came up, and we gave him the green light to go. And he had an outstanding jump. He cleared it pretty well, got it through. Then I thought it was pretty impressive for Keeley to go from a full speed, clear his feet, pick it up, then still stay in bounds, and, kind of help us build a little momentum going in, changing that from a 3-score game to a 2-score game. So, again, them able to bounce back from 2 plays they probably want back as a team to come in and help out the team. You can't be more impressed and those 2 guys coming back to play.
How close was Isaiah to getting that next one? It looked like he was.
He was pretty close again. I think he slipped just at the end when he was trying to turn the corner, but he has a knack. And, now we got to be able to understand people are going to go on a hard count, go on silent, go quick. But he was extremely close. And, a lot of the times the big guys on the interior, they get a lot of credit because they do get some good push. Now that we have a couple guys on the outside, it just helps for us on a field goal block team that we can change the game, whether it's a block field goal or a block extra point.
What were the conversations like with Cooper after the game, given that that's his first time in a full-time role there, and it was kind of a hairy situation on the field with us?
Yeah, you just trying to, give him the comfort and, the support that, that we got him, going out there first game, rookie, like I said, there's going to be some growing pains, but we can't have that happen regardless. But just to keep his confidence up, you never want a guy back there that's kind of second-guessing himself or second-guessing what we're trying to do. Just the confidence building, going into the bye week, get his body right, come back, new, kind of a new season, one-game season, go after it and try to have another opportunity to build upon what happened in Tampa Bay in a positive light.
I saw you after the Keeley one. You went over and kind of put your arm around him there. Was it concern about his health in that spot, or was it kind of discussing with him what just happened?
No, it's always, first of all, you want to always discuss the player's health out there. Take a shot, and, Keeley's no small cat. To take a shot, your head up, and, get hit, make sure he's okay more than anything else. Then, just to, give him that sense of confidence again. We'll need you back out there. Again, that's on me with the communication towards him and to Keeley. Like, hey, that's on me. Don't think about that. Wash it. We'll go in a half. We'll come back and clean it up. And, he never batted an eye. He was ready to go back out there. And, again, he didn't have the opportunity. He had the fair catch because the ball went 37 yards. But it's one of those things for myself as a coach that I've kind of learned throughout the years is there's no point in snowballing it by yelling or something like that. You got to get these guys controlled, get their confidence back up, know that we got faith in them just so they're able to go and put a positive foot forward.
Hypothetical, have guys like Ben Van Sumeren and Jeremiah Trotter become for you on special teams, considering, they're playing and a guy like, Devin White's been inactive and, hasn't played and everything, like just what their value is to what they do on special teams?
Yeah, they've been doing a tremendous job. I thought Ben, he had 2 tackles last game against Tampa on punt coverage. He's kind of like the heartbeat for us. And Trot, he's just getting better and better. 4 games in, from week 1 to week 4, he's just getting better and better. He understands. He asks questions. So we're going to, lean on those guys being linebackers to be the heartbeat of our special teams. But again, it takes not just 2 guys. It takes the whole team in terms of the special teams aspect to build this and get us back on track to, after this bye week to start with a positive note of getting a huge win against Cleveland. But again, let these guys get their body right, get their mind right, come back fresh, and get after Cleveland in a couple weeks.
Ben, you kind of just called him the heartbeat there. When you look back to where he started as an undrafted guy, did you get a sense at some point that this guy could be, really something for me on special teams? Did you
yeah, absolutely. He made it down to the last day, then got cut. But we were able to get him on practice squad. Then you see a lot from his practice squad tape going against our guys when he's on the look rush team, so to say, on punt. And just, his movement, it's hard to find a guy that could run like he can and is physical. Then when he had the opportunity to come in, he jumped in the Dallas game here at home, put him in a new spot, and he did well there. Then being able to play a few more games, make some big plays. He made his first tackle against Kansas City. I think it's that confidence factor, again, that I can do it in this NFL. And he's really taken his level. And he meets with Tyler Brown, I believe, every Friday or Saturday and watch 6 to 7 plays of the opposing team are good plays from around the league. So he's a student of the game. And, he always asks questions, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? So it's always a pleasure when you have a guy like that on your special teams unit.
What about Ben's athleticism makes him an asset offensively? And did the conversation to get him in the backfield happen before or after in training camp when y'all had him, get a reception there?
Yeah, Ben's an athlete. I coach 4th down. When it comes first, second, and third down, you got to ask Kellen. But anytime you can help out the team, I guess the more you can do in the NFL.
From outside looking in, it looks like Devin White would be a good special teams player. He's athletic. Why isn't he playing special teams?
Yeah, and that's a conversation that we have in the organization, what he feels comfortable with, And again, Devin's been in the league multiple years, but he hasn't had a lot of special teams reps. But again, for myself personally, I'll take anybody that wants to play special teams. I'm not saying, no, he can't play it or anything of that nature. It's just how it rolls here in the NFL at times. And when it does push come to shove and he's up and he wants to help out, I'm more than welcome. But again, it's an organizational talk that we have. You know, throughout the week, you only have 48 guys up. So however the is divvied up, we'll be able to go with that.
We saw Darren out at practice last week. How valuable can that be for Cooper?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Saw Darren
Oh, okay.
out at practice last week. How valuable can that be for Cooper?
I mean, I think you ask any returner in the NFL, if you have Darren Sproles back there, you're going to have some tidbits that you're going to learn from. I know we walked through on Wednesday, but we went out there after, and he was able to give him some tidbits. I was here when Darren in 14 and 15, so it's always nice to have a familiar face. But anything that Darren, has for us, we take notes and we try to relay to the guys if he can't talk to them personally. But having Darren around is awesome.
All right. Thank you.